Now what the hell how am I gonna get rid of this water? Eesh, eesh, eesh. Hey guys, it's Brian and welcome back to Arrowhead Garage. Today we're wrapping up rebuilding the heads on our Porsche motor. Let me show you how easy it is to rebuild the head on a Porsche or Volkswagen, and it may work for a Pontiac or a Chevy or something else, but it's mostly focused today on air-cooled motors, Porsches and Volkswagen. So let's get into this. So guys, this here is my bench-mounted spring compressor to be able to put the springs in on a Type 4 Volkswagen Porsche motor. I put little bitty pads down to kind of cushion it so it's not so hard on the metal here. But let me show you how to do this. So we have our head, and it needs to have the springs put back into place. So the way we do this is you lay it on this jig and see how nicely it just sets right into place. Okay, so you have springs. So you have a spring and it goes in here. You put that down. You then have a hat that goes down like that. And of course, your valve comes up. Now, when you did your valve grinding, there's a video over here that you can watch on how to do this. You make sure you number each valve, so when you go to put everything back together, it all matches up. Because remember, you ground the valve to the head or the cylinder, so you're gonna make sure they all match up. Now we have our head set up in the jig, so we need to make sure we know this is cylinder number 3, this is cylinder number 4, and we have our parts laid out accordingly. So there's number 4. Hey guys, just a quick note. Remember, we do have t-shirts for the channel. There's a link down below that you can see those. And if you want to buy this for yourself, they run about $80 or so. There's a link down below. Yes, it's an affiliate link. Yes, you're going to make me a nickel, but really, you're going to worry about a nickel. So this here, our number 4, this is going to be our exhaust valve. It's the smaller of the two. So the way you do this is you're going to flip the head around to where you can get access to it, because you have to put that valve into that opening there. I take my valve, I dip it in some motor oil, and then I drop it into place. Hold it into place, flip it back over. And now it's ready to go. Let me zoom you in so you can see what's going to happen next. So you have your valve in there. She sits right there. You're going to grab your spring and put your spring on. You're going to take one of your hats. It's called a hat because it sits down like this. You're going to take this device here. You're going to bring it in, set it to where it meets that, and you're going to push down to compress that spring so you can put on your keepers. Let me show you these keepers up close here. So these little keepers, I hope that's focusing, they go on these little ridges right here. So they go on one on each side. And this is what keeps the valve in place so it doesn't pop out. That's why they're called valve keepers. So let me show you how to put those in. There's one. On the opposite side. There's 2, and then raise it up. That's your first one in there. See if I can't get you in just a little bit closer here. Same procedure. You're going to take your valve, you're going to put oil on it, put it in this here. Head comes back down. It's nice and in place. Spring goes on. I tend to put my springs up like that. You take a hat, you put the hat in, you bring your press around, line it up, and compress the spring down. You take your keeper, you drop it into the bottom there, use your pick to line it up, and you'll see it grabs onto that stem. Take the second one, put it in behind, take your pick, get it lined up. Bring it up. You got 2 valves done. let's continue on. Let's get the rest of these done. We're almost home free on this. Done. Now, one thing I like to do, take a hammer and just tap them right in the center there. Remember, because that's where your rocker arm, when the push rod tube pushes it, is going to open and close your valves. So we're done with this valve. We're done with this head. All right, so we've completed the valve job on our Porsche heads here. And you're probably asking yourself, well, Brian, how do I know if I did it? Did I do the lapping right? Have I done everything properly? This is how you find out. Go get yourself a cup of water, and we're going to pour it into each of the combustion chambers. We're going to let it sit for about 20 or 30 minutes. And if no water runs out, you're good to go. If water runs out, you're pulling these back apart and you're relapping, or maybe you're looking at maybe a different issue. So let's grab some water. Let's pour it in here. Let's see if there's any leaks. Okay, now, before you pour your water in, go grab some spark plugs. You're going to make sure that you get these in there. And then next one. Put those in there. Okay, plugs are in. Now we want to set this to where the head is going to be somewhat level this way. So I'm going to use a rag here and just kind of get that. Wipe this down. Let's pour in our water. So the theory is if it holds water, then it's airtight, watertight, and just fill it up where those valves are submerged. Okay, and cheers. Now we wait. We got our cloth set up. That way, we're going to see if there's any wetness, if anything drips through. All right, guys, it's been 20 or 30 minutes, and as you can see, we have no dampness anywhere around the head. So that tells us our lapping job on the valves worked. We got it done. So the next step in this process is going to be to put in the rocker arms. That'll be a future video, probably next week. We'll get the rocker arms installed, and then we'll have our head completely put back together and ready to put back into our 67 Porsche. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Check us out. We're rebuilding a 67 Porsche and a 1967 Pontiac Firebird 400. So kind of both spectrums of the universe back in the late 60s. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time here in Arrowhead Garage.